Welcome to Season 3 of Anna and Selena's 15-ish minute coffee chat. We invite you to join our weekly real talk conversations with business gurus and entrepreneurs that share best practices, struggles, and a good laugh while we try, but fail, to keep it at 15-ish minutes.
Hey guys, welcome to Season 3 of Anna and Selena's 15-minute-ish coffee chat. This week, Selena of Howley Socially Inspired and Anna of No Mad About are hosting Julie Moser, founder and executive director of Pink Warrior Angels of Texas. We're going to be discussing the difficulties and successes that nonprofits have seen now that they've had to pivot and take annual events and fundraising all virtual.
Well done, Selena. Can everyone tell it's an evening show today?
More than a day. I'm like, I don't know how to do this.
Right. Well, we're excited to be here today, but I have to tell you, it's been another one of those days. So just as a heads up, in my office, 2 of my light bulbs out of the 3 went out today, and they're not normal bulbs, and we weren't able to find the right ones. So if for some reason I go totally dark, I'm still here. I'm just going to talk from the dark.
That's how we roll. That's a whole going on with the conversation with Julie today, right? We just
That's
roll
right.
with it.
That's right.
Yes. You know.
Oh, so funny.
How goes you?
That's good. Yeah. So everything's going good. Hopefully everybody's doing well. We're super excited to have our guest on today because there's this major event happening at the end of this week. And we're going to talk a little bit about it at the end of the show and kind of what it is. But we're also really excited because if for lots of you who may not know this, both Selena and I sit on the board of the organization that we're having on our show today, Pink Warrior Angels of Texas. So Selena is the director of communications and marketing, and I am the director of operations. And so between the 2 of us and the other board members and Julie, we are all a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
And Selena has created this amazing show that we're going to talk a little bit about, Runway of Hope. You probably have heard about it and have seen it on our Facebook pages. But before we do that, we really want to talk with Julie about the process that this nonprofit has gone through to pivot over the last year. Because we all know it's been a little crazy, right?
For sure. I can't wait. Do I talk to Julie every day? I do. Yeah. It's so great to kind of bring her up in this way and talk about just the nonprofit world. And she's been involved in it in so long. And, you know what I mean? And just to kind of see, like, she's done it all in person. And now this year is all virtual. So it's kind of interesting. And I think it'll be great for everybody to be a part of that conversation, right?
Absolutely, because I think it's important, especially with the holiday season and the giving season coming up. You know, we just want to make sure that everybody is fully aware of really how difficult this past year has been for nonprofits and what they can be looking for that's different from years in the past.
Yep.
You know, there's not going to be a lot of social events and, you know, dinners that you can buy tickets for, or dances or you know, big events or music concerts and things like that maybe you supported in the past. So don't forget your nonprofits this year. That's going to be a main message for tonight, I think.
Yes, you'll hear that.
Yeah.
I do want to say before we move on to Julie's, I want to give a big thank you to Elizabeth that was on our show last week.
Oh my God.
She was awesome. She's my kind of people. Like,
yeah,
she's a memory maker. Those are the people to go above and beyond when others may be sleeping. They're the tree still making it special, you know? So
absolutely. And if you haven't been to her shop yet, you really should go. She's got some really fun, unique items in her stationery shop. Just fun little things, pencils and lapel pins and cards and little stationery sets and calendars and even affirmation type things. Anyway, it's awesome. Yeah. So go check her out, paperwell.com.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, well, why don't we just go right on in and bring up Julie's bio?
Yes, let's do it.
Okay, go ahead, Anna. You read.
Okay, so Julie Moser is a mom of 3. She's a military spouse and a breast cancer survivor. Her career started in civil service while joining her husband from duty station to duty station. Julie's husband, Bob, was transferred to Fort Hood, Texas in 2008, and since then, they've made Central Texas their home. After a diagnosis of stage 2 breast cancer, she and her family discovered the indiscriminate nature of this disease. She founded Pink Warrior Angels of Texas in 2015, and it's grown and changed in the past 5 years from an organization that served breast cancer diagnoses to an organization that now serves all cancer diagnoses. Julie's message this year is, what's your color? Which means that if you're looking in your family and friends group, you will often find someone who's been devastated by cancer. So Pink Warrior Angels of Texas asks all people to say to themselves, what is your color? And to recognize how cancer affects everyone. Our hope is with the knowledge that they will donate to organizations like that, like ours, that helps with the financial burden that this disease can cause. So welcome, Julie, huh? Should we bring her in? Let's do it. Julie.
Hi.
Look at this beautiful lady. We're so excited she's here.
No, I'm glad to be here. It's been, as you said, Anna, a heck of a day. It's a Monday and a heck of a day. Not only because it's Monday, but because we have so much coming up with the nonprofit and just Monday stuff that just happens anyway, right?
Sure.
Absolutely. So I'm going to out you, Julie. She slid in to this show today literally with 20 seconds before we went live. That's how close of a day she's got petting it today.
That's how my day has been going. It is literally, I had like 7 messages at one time. And I was on a phone call earlier, literally like an hour ago. And then we'll throw my mom in because her app's not working to download these super bonus things for her game that she's playing right now. So I'm troubleshooting with mom too. But it all comes to what we're doing as a nonprofit this week. And sometimes it's just like that.
Oh my God.
And yeah, I mean, I don't know how many times I've talked to Selena today, and I think Anna texted you once, which I normally don't. So I'm like, oh my God, Anna, I need you. But it's definitely been a Monday for sure. And it's cold here in Texas. What the heck?
I love it.
I literally went outside for an appointment and I got in my car. I was like, why is it so cold?
My car even did that beepy thing, like, there may be ice on the roads. There might be ice on the roads. I was like, what?
Yeah, no, mine was, you need air in your tires.
Oh my God. Oh, I hate that when it gets cold. That's what my car does. And I'm like, you were fine yesterday when it was like 95 degrees.
Right.
Okay, wait. Keep us on point here. It is time for a coffee cup selfie, but I changed mine to wine tonight. I don't know.
So I was going to do that. And I was like, let me go find I have a coffee cup.
That's okay. Does it have water?
No, it has water. I'm trying to drink more water, but it's my favorite cup. But I thought about my wine glass. It says it's my off-duty glass.
Right.
That was given to me, like, literally so close.
Oh,
so, it's like 20 seconds till we were live. So.
Let us know in the comments what you're drinking right now. It could be wine. It must be coffee. Okay, on 3, guys. 1, 2, 3. Oh, wait, Julie.
No, not 1, 2, 3. We're not ready.
Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay,
ready.
Okay. Yay! Cheers! Cheers!
Yay,
Cheers!
Cheers!
Sure. You know.
Yay! Okay, all right. So before we start the show, Julie, I know that you are aware. I think you're aware of this, but we are now doing a mental health question of the day for each of our guests, with the idea that we just want to draw attention to the fact that even as business people, we need to take care of our mental health. Mm-hmm. Nothing too deep. We promise not to open any skeletons and find any skeletons in your closet. But we do have a question for you today.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Okay. There we go. Oh, wait. Push the button. Okay. Right there. Okay.
What is the next thing you would like to learn? How might that learning impact your life or well-being?
Yeah. And this doesn't have to be business related, or it could be. It could be personally.
It's a good
question. So yeah, okay. So the mental health part of it, what I'd like to learn is to drink more water, which then in turn keeps me hydrated, my skin not to be dry. I get so busy and I forget to drink and eat. And of course, I'm never hungry, so that's a whole nother story for another day. But if I don't, I literally feel awful when I don't drink. So I would really love to learn how to stay consistent with my drinking of water. No lie. I was just telling my husband that a couple of days ago. I'm supposed to drink like 3 liters of water a day. I was like, oh, I think I drink like a cup of coffee and nothing else till dinner, and that's not good, because we're so focused and we're working, or I'm at a doctor's appointments or whatever it is, and then I'm like, oh, I should stop and drink water or eat. Whether I'm driving my kids from point A to point B, or at one of the soccer games, remembering to go to that concession stand and grab something too, and or bring something with me. Like literally, it's hard for me. It really, honestly, is hard.
I think the bigger question, not even question, but the bigger idea there is it is hard to remain self-disciplined in taking care of yourself when there's so many other things that feel like they should take priority, right?
Yes. And we take the back seat to ourselves, and as moms, we put everybody in front of us all day, every day. I know a lot of moms that do that. And the only time I have my me time is when I've completely lost my mind and I shut the bedroom door and everybody knows to leave me alone. And I have a moment to just try to digress. But it is, I don't put myself first enough. I was trying to get better at it, but now I'm back to not. Well, it's the end of the year now, right? Start all over. But this week, importantly, it's going to be super, super important this week is to remember drinking that water or eating and staying hydrated or resting when I need to rest, because I tend to do events on my feet the whole time and don't drink, don't eat, and I never sit down, which is really hard on my body because the following day and a half, I am like stuck in bed because I hurt so bad.
Yeah. I think really it comes down to like the second half of this question, like how does it impact your life or well-being? And the reality is that self-discipline to take care of ourselves really like runs the gamut. It covers everything else we do. Because if we are run down to the point where we can't operate or function, our businesses suffer, or nonprofits in this case, our families suffer, we suffer, our bodies suffer, our health suffers. I mean, it's like one of those rolling rocks that just keeps going and going and going.
Yeah.
Or snowball effect. That's what they call it, right?
Snowball effect. Yeah, there we go.
Exactly. Yeah. So, okay. So do we have anybody that answered the poll question? So look, Tyrus said she's close to drinking the right amount of water. Yeah. And Christy SJ says, I drink plenty of water, but I wish I could drink wine and eat less.
Me too, Christy. I'm with you.
And John is drinking gravy tonight. So cheers.
Hey, is it white or brown gravy?
Oh, good question.
That's important.
I know the answer to be turkey giblet gravy, whatever that is.
Giblet gravy. Yeah, from Thanksgiving. Yeah.
Thanksgiving.
Okay. Yeah. No. It's, because in the South we love some biscuits and gravy. That's why I was asking.
Oh my gosh. No, that was actually a great question and I think like you like metaphorically can speak right about the water, just like Anna was mentioning earlier. It applies to anything else, right? If you don't take care of yourself, it does impact you in this way. If I don't cut my hair, it's not going to look great later. You know what I mean? When I got to do stuff. And then I feel bad. And then I mentally do you know what I mean? Like it has effects and it could affect me in my business. I may not feel confident when I go to a job interview or I'm pitching a client or I'm asking for a donation, right? You got to go with your, but it all has ripple effects from personal to business.
Yeah, absolutely. It 100%. Does.
There was a hot minute. I was like 5:30 and I told Anna, I'm like, I think I'm just gonna have to do the mom bun. I had a full mom bun because it was like 5:40 and she laughed. And I'm like, your hair looks great. And I'm like, man. So I sat here fussing with it. I'm not saying I want you guys to pay attention, but this looks better than what it was.
Well, look, okay. So I was rocking the mom bun this morning.
Yeah.
I did put a little bit of makeup on because I needed to talk to one of our sponsors.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but I had filming to do at 1:00.
Yeah.
Right. And so literally I was like, oh, we're filming? I thought we were doing voice. So
Yeah.
it was like, I've got to do something with my hair.
Yeah.
And literally it was, I had to stop, do what I needed to do to film pretty, to film and look decent. But hey, there's nothing wrong with mom buns. And the only reason I put makeup on to the doctors is because I had to stop something else. Because guys, let's be real. It is the world of crazy pivot, and we live in our yoga pants and jeggings and leggings and stretchy shorts right now. And we rock our mom buns, and we don't put a lot of makeup on or put makeup on and walk around the house with lashes. Who cares? Because we can, because 2020 is just that. We can do whatever we want.
Yeah.
And I think your mom bun would have been just fine. But, it's like, well, it's the evening. Let's get dressed up a little bit more and put on our lipstick or, whatever.
So I have to just say, this is where that question turns on us, right? Because I looked at Selena with her mom bun and I was like, you look great. I think you look fantastic. But she didn't feel good. With how she looked. And that's, it's really we on the outside look at somebody and say, you look fantastic, or no, your confidence is shining through. But if you don't feel it on the inside,
you're not going to.
It comes in to that self-care portion where you can say, I've done whatever I can do to make myself be the best I can be today, whether it's drinking water or fixing my hair, whatever.
Absolutely.
What you both just said, we're going to circle back to this when we come up to the runway of hope, because that's exactly what we're trying to do for our models.
Yeah.
But I won't go far ahead because I know some people may not know what we're talking about. So just remember the question.
Yeah.
Yes. Anna, absolutely. I think it's, it's silly, but my grandmother, she's 92, 93. She was a flight attendant, and they always had to put, she worked for Hawaiian Airlines. She told me the funnest stories, the flight attendants would have to get picked up by a limo, by the airline, carted over to the thing. And so they had to make do you look right before you could go on, because this is way back when. But she's always kind of kept that mentality of you have to look great before you step out. So it's transferred to all of us grandkids. And I may have said this before, but you joke about it. But I think taking a little bit extra time for yourself can help you with the day, because you're going to feel confident a little bit just because you want a little bit of lipstick.
And it's okay to not go to the nines. Whatever it makes you feel good too, because I know exactly what you're talking about, Selena. Hey, Pam. Hi, Pam.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I'm okay. Well, let's move on. Okay.
Yeah. We're going to hit our toolkit now. Selena's going to pull up our toolkit for today, which very much like the title of the topic of our show is going virtual. So clearly this past year we have, I almost am going to say it doesn't matter what business you're in, you've had to ramp up and amp up your virtual presence because people literally were not allowed to come to you. In a physical form. So we've put a couple of different things up here, but we're talking about meetings and happy hours and webinars and live shows. And there are a number of different platforms in there. We would love from the people listening right now, what platform do you currently use? So clearly, Selena and I use StreamYard for this, but we use Zoom for client meetings, I use Zoom for client meetings. And I use Skype occasionally to talk with certain parts of my family, and WhatsApp to talk with other people that I know. So, and let me not forget Marco Polo, which is, I've got a couple different sisters only, where we're talking smack and all that good stuff on Marco Polo. So that right there is 4 different applications that I personally use to connect with people.
You might.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Julie, what do you like to use? What's your favorite way to do your thing?
Well, and personally, Facebook Messenger works, but I also love WhatsApp because it's not attached to Facebook, even though it's owned by Facebook. Yeah. But I have many platforms that I communicate with many different people. So Facebook is being one of the primaries. just because pretty much everybody has it. Not like everybody has Instagram, not everybody has Zoom, but of course Zoom made everything more user-friendly for those free versions even to help anybody wanting to join. What is the other one? Well, I love StreamYard, of course, too, but I know with group messaging or getting communication out or planning or anything like that, I've learned how to use Trello. I'm very proud to say that. Y'all have no idea. But, Voxer is great, which is like the Marco Polo where you can do voice clips, because let's talk about how much typing we do while we're sitting at the couch and we're working at the same time, or at a doctor's appointment waiting. And it's like, let's just recording. It's just sometimes just easier trying to explain a whole thing and just use your voice instead.
Funny you said that. Hi, Tyra. It's funny you said that because Anna and I just had a discussion today about the texting. She's really good at the text to talk, and I know you are too. And I said to Anna, I said, it's funny, like as much as I'm on technology, I always was typing. And until I had seen Anna, like at almost every, like she was talking to her phone, and I'm like, oh, well, duh.
Yeah.
Like, it's there, but why have you not latched onto that?
Yeah. Right. And sometimes I do it a lot in my car. That's when I have the most time to think, because I'm usually by myself and it's quiet. And I'll probably voice text like 7 people on the way to the grocery store, just because random things will pop in my head. And so if you ever get a text from me, well, now I think Apple products will say Siri translate, because I'll say, hey Siri, text Selena, and everything pops up and I just start talking. And as long as I remember to add the punctuation, we're okay, because then it's like this one big long story that never ends. But you're right. It is. I love the voice clipping. I love to be able to voice to text. And I know between Google and Apple products and other things that there's a lot of, Alexas and Siris, and what was the new one that Apple just actually launched a little whatever thing that you can talk to in your home. So I'm like, well, it's about time, Apple, but it makes our lives easier. But this is where we've come full circle to 2020, because that's what we got to do, right?
Yeah.
Remind me to put something on my list, or remind me for this timer, because we're so busy.
I want to make sure and point out, though, because we've got 2 Apple users and 1 Android user on this StreamYard right here, that Apple and Androids do not talk well together, which is why sometimes one of these third-party apps is so very important.
Yes.
Because Selena and I will have a joint client that will text us, and she'll get a text, and I won't get it for like 3 more days. And then it comes rolling in. And meanwhile, she's like, hey, did you hear blah, blah, blah? And I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. I didn't get anything like that. And then when they do come in, they come in all jumbled.
Oh my God.
And this is not, I am a firm lover of Android, and they are firm lovers of iPhone. It's not that there's one better than the other, but you do have to be aware of when you are communicating with people, making sure your message is coming across, whether it's using punctuation in your talk to text, or Apple to Android, or Android to Apple, like whichever way you want to go.
Yeah. But I think that's why WhatsApp is great, Facebook Messenger, those third-party apps that is essential, Voxer, Marco Polo, because it just kind of makes everything else cohesive. But if you're not a Voxer user and you're a Marco Polo user, then you might just have to download another one, because your one client might use it and the other one might not. And that's okay. I have plenty of different apps on my phone. It's like, let me know where I'm going and how I'm communicating with you.
You're speaking the truth right there, girl. Like,
right?
Yes. Okay. Well, hey, I'm gonna leave this right here, Anna, where it says Apple or Android for people.
I might have to take it off. I don't know.
Now,
are you team Android or are you team Apple? That's what we want to know.
Yeah,
our board is half and half.
We are literally half and half, but we do have this argument frequently within ourselves, because people are pretty firmly one camp or the other. I get irritable with Apple products because I can't use their plugs anywhere else. That super irritates me. I have to have like a special plug system to be able to use their product.
Anna
Yes.
gets very irritable very quickly. So you try to keep her calm. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I understand.
Oh, look.
I do
We've got
understand.
an Android. We've got a second
Rachel.
Android.
Yeah, Ira.
Team Android on this call. Woo, woo.
Oh, it's 2 right now, guys. Come on, Apple users. Can you type in? Just give us a thing. Just give us a thing.
I know, right? Oh my gosh. I just pulled it up on Facebook so I could see what they're all saying about Android and Apple. Oh my gosh, because I can't see it on this side.
Oh no.
Where are my Apple friends?
All the comments, so don't you worry. Okay,
Yes.
let's move on to our first set of questions we have for
I know.
Julie.
Well, first, we probably should introduce our topic because we failed to do that way long time ago. We did say it right at the very beginning, but today's topic is events and fundraising, nonprofits go virtual. Okay. So super excited about the topic today. We're going to start with a question because Pink Warrior Angels of Texas is specifically geared to help people who have been diagnosed with cancer. And this can be a really tough and touchy subject to have a conversation about. And so we want to take this opportunity, Julie, to start with a question that a lot of people who've never experienced cancer or who maybe don't have it happen to an immediate family member, there's always this question of, what can I say or do for someone that's been diagnosed? And if you could just talk for just a minute about really what it is that people who have been diagnosed with cancer, what are they looking for from their friends and family?
So that is a really great question because it comes up a lot in many conversations that we have, even in our support groups, is a cancer survivor wants you to just be there. Be their friend. Don't treat them any different. And we might need extra hugs, but just be you, and it's okay to talk about it. The cancer survivor may not want to talk about it right away, but just talk, just be normal. I have a lot of metastatic breast cancer friends, which means they're terminal. They get a short span of life diagnoses, from 5 to 7 years. And there's rare that some of them even make it 2 years when they're diagnosed. So how do you talk to somebody when you know and they know that they're going to die?
Yeah.
Well, we're all going to die. It's not the timing that we wanted, but just talk to them. Treat them like they're them. They might lose their hair. That's okay. They're still the same person in there. Yeah. They just might need those extra hugs. Be you. Be genuine. And so for me, as a giver and person who just steps up and helps all the time, I had a hard time asking for help. But what I really appreciated were the people who just showed up. And it wasn't to just hang out for 3 hours and chit chat. It was, they either were outside cutting my grass and I woke up to a lawnmower, or somebody left food at the door and texted me and said, hey, there's food at the door, you should probably go get it. I had somebody send a cleaning team to my house and had already prearranged with my husband to make sure that we were home, kind of thing. But they just did it. Just show up, and not what can I do for you? It is more or less just doing it. Yeah. Because it's hard for people to ask for help or to even acknowledge that they need help, especially the stronger females that are adamant on doing everything themselves. Yeah. Or males for that matter. And typically males don't ask for help regardless, but the stereotypical strong female is a giver and will help everybody else in the whole wide world, but will never ask for help for themselves. Yeah. And that was hard for me. So I had to learn to allow people to help me. That's another key thing is, do it in small bites. Don't overwhelm them at one time, but just be there, be present. I had somebody ask me to come watch TV with her, so I did. I sat on the couch and I watched TV with her, and she fell asleep. And it's okay, because 2 hours later she woke up, I was still there. Yeah. And I was just watching whatever we were watching on TV. I think she just needed someone to be there in the room with her, and that was okay. So sometimes it's all we need as human beings is just to have another human being in the room with us. And you don't have to talk.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And I think one of the things that is really important that I've heard you talk about and other cancer warriors is that this is not like a race to do it at the first couple of weeks and then let it peter off. Like this is cancer, and the treatments can be a very long ongoing process, months and months and months.
Yes.
And
we call that cancer confetti. We had somebody tell us that once, described it as cancer confetti. So once the cancer confetti is gone and the newness wears off, or your hair starts growing back, or you seem like you're coming out more in public, we're still going through a lot of things. You know, so even though I have hair and reconstruction because I've double mastectomy, I still have my moments, you know, even 7 years later, I still have my moments, you know, where my back hurts or my hip hurts, or because I had to have surgery on that. Is just still go help, lift somebody up and you know, and help, you know, rise, you know, what is it? Rise by lifting others. You know, that's it. Just, you know, kindness all around, but go check in on that friend, send a text message, and even say, hey, I'm just thinking of you. Hope you're having a great day. No need to respond, because you don't want that person to feel obligated to respond back when they're in the middle of a nap or something, but just know that they're thinking about you, or send a card.
Yeah.
You know, months later, a year later, that was important to me when I discovered that it is not an overnight deal. It's a long, hard journey. So while we may be scared of not knowing what to do or say or touch, even like with a hug, just do it. They'll let you know. You know, and then like Cancer Warriors on the other side, they're pretty vocal in far as telling you, no, that's too much or whatever. But even if they decline the dinner to cook or the meal train, they'll set it up and then just have one person go and drop it off, or just leave it at the door and talk to the spouse.
Yeah.
Because 9 times out of 10 they need it.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's interesting, because I know that a lot of people are worried about being getting in their space when maybe they need extra space, you know? So when you say, even if they decline the meal train, go ahead and set it up. You know, I like the idea of talking to the spouse, because often if I think if the person or children, even adult children, or, you know, children, just kind of looking at the situation maybe, because I know that for me, if somebody said, no, I don't want that, please don't send people to my house with meals, I wouldn't do it, because I would think if I did, it would be intrusive.
Well, and so we've come across that a couple of times, even with me personally, not necessarily with the organization, but then I just became the point of contact. Nobody else got the address, because what we don't want, because some people are talkers, I know I can be, but that you're literally just dropping it off. And leaving, not dropping off, how you doing, give hugs, let me come in, let me do this, let me do that. It is literally just dropping the meal and going. And it's better received that way, because then you're not crossing that space that you were just talking about, of intruding. But I promise you it's well received. But just, I've been points of contact many times for that, to just drop off and go. Because, and then, so they would bring it to me, and then I would take it over there. So I knew that there's no long 3-hour conversation going on, because they're tired.
You said such an interesting thing, actually, both of you did, is how you said, just do it. And Anna, you're like, if somebody said, no, I won't, because I would be the person that would want your help, but I'm not the kind of person that would also ask for help. So even though you would come and help and make my life easier, I feel like it's not my place to say, yes, like, support me in that way. It's like, I don't know if it's a pride thing, or if it's like, it's a humble thing where I'm like, no, I'm okay. And I will tell you, no, even though I really need you. So I think, I didn't think about that till you just said it, like Julie, and then like Anna, like with the whole, like, I won't go, but I'm like, and I think it's finding that like the line of where, you know, like, no, I'm just going to leave something on your porch. You know what I mean? Just one time.
Right.
And
like the safer area, because I was like Anna before cancer hit me, was, you know, being a military spouse, we help a lot of people that either, you know, their spouses are deployed, or something's happened, or they had a baby or an emergency surgery. And I'm like, I know you're in there with 3 kids. Let me help you, you know, but it is a pride thing. It's a humble thing. And let me tell you, swallowing that pride is hard.
Yeah.
But until I fell flat on my face and got a good taste of humble pie, I never would have guessed, you know.
Yeah.
So now I approach everybody slowly and differently, because you'll get a feel for them. But, you know, I also will say, okay, well, hey, there's something at your door, and I'm already gone down the street.
Yeah.
And it's well received.
I think that there's a level of strength and independence you don't want to admit to not having at some points in your life, right? I mean, as again, cancer or not cancer, as military spouses or moms, or just people in general, we go through these high and low moments, right? Where there are times where we need someone, but I'm a strong, independent woman, dang it, and I can do it by myself.
Right? And hear me roar, dang it.
Yeah. So maybe the next time I get told no, what it will be is, okay, and then I drop off a casserole that can be frozen, and it'll say, when you do need this, it's in your freezer.
Right. Yeah.
Because if you don't need it tonight, that's okay. But tomorrow or the next day or a week from now.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, gift cards are great too for now. Well, especially now in 2020, we do a lot of DoorDash and Uber Eats, and you know, those Uber Eats or whatever the other one is. But you know, now that we have a lot of that, you can just send to their email if you have it. Yeah. And if you don't have their email, you can leave a little gift basket or just some feel good, hey, I'm thinking of you stuff, and pop that card in there and say, go get you something to eat, you know, and then they can take control of it and order what they'd like at that point, you know. It is about losing that control. So
I'm curious, for anybody that's watching right now, if you've ever been the recipient of something like this, again, this not necessarily have to be cancer related, but if you've ever been the recipient, I'm curious to know, were you appreciative of it? No, well, that's the wrong question, because of course you're appreciative of it, but did you ask for help, or did it just come to you? That's really what I kind of want to know. So if you're listening right now and you want to just pop something in the comments, I'd be really interested to see what our listeners have to say about that.
Yeah, I will say my answer really to that is I've said no, and I've had family members that just barged in to make it okay.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? And and then I sobbed because I just was like, I needed it, but I don't know why. And maybe it is like you had said, Julie, it's like, and Anna, like that lack of control that you have. But it's like, I'm curious. You know, what people have, how they felt or been in that, on both sides. Have you just barged? Are you a barger? I think Anna knows I'm a barger, because there's been times me and Anna's like, nope. And I'm like, I show up at her door and I'm like, bossing her down.
That makes me want to go digging through that to find that picture where I was literally wearing my hooded snuggle blanket, and Selena's like, we're going for coffee, and I'm like, I don't want to go. So Rachel, you had to ask for help. That's interesting. Like, I wonder if there were people that wanted to but were afraid to ask. Like, I feel like that's like the case in almost every situation.
Well, and I can tell you, Rachel, I know Rachel personally. She is a very strong female, and sometimes strong females kind of give a perception of I don't need help also, and sometimes we have to ask, because it's like, oh, she's fine, she'll get it, or she has enough family, there's always somebody. No, sometimes there's not. Why does one GoFundMe fundraiser work and one doesn't? It is about some people, and it's okay to ask for help. Let's talk about that it is okay, because there's some people that don't ask for help, fear of thinking that you're needy or whatever. But it's okay to ask for help, because there's some out there that are like, oh, it's cold outside, I need help. Oh, wait, it's 100 degrees outside, I need help. So there's different personalities that have different needs and wants of things that some need more tending to than the other. But you'll know your circle and your friends, or if you haven't talked to them in a while, or I have a lot of friends, I'm sure you guys do too, being military, a lot of our friends are moved and they're gone to Timbuktu now. And so how do you help from afar? That's all that virtual piece that goes into that, and help.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, yeah. So we're gonna have to move on to the next question, but I just want to leave this out there for anyone listening or watching tonight that Pink Warrior Angels of Texas, their Facebook page, their Instagram page, and their website has lots of different messages. I'm gonna say messages and things that will help you come up with a plan if you ever do find yourself in a situation where you need to either offer or you need to receive help. So I think that the idea here behind Julie's organization is that that's exactly what it's for. Reach out, start the process with Julie because she is a font of knowledge. She will not let you down in terms of giving you the answers that you need when it comes to this topic. So, okay.
For sure.
Okay, so I'm going to move on to the second question. So the second question is really a statement and then a question. So clearly cancer does not take a break because there's a pandemic, right? So what are 3 things that Pink Warrior Angels of Texas has done to go virtual and raise funds?
So 3 different things that we've done. I mean, we canceled a lot of some of the other events that we do in communities, but it's important that we still have funding come in, of course. We have done volunteer meetings virtual. We've done all our planning virtual. But we did our virtual run. So our run that we've been doing for 7 years, it was like, oh, now what do we do? That people still needed to get out and exercise. So we did a whole virtual run with a special group that if you signed up to run, you got placed in a special group on Facebook so we could cheer each other on. Our Pink Warrior, our Pink Block Party that's always hosted for us from home base and moving with the military. There's not a lot of planning that goes behind that, but we were even, we shifted a little virtual there too. So we always have, raffle baskets and you could buy tickets. Well, we also did that online virtually as well for those who didn't want to come out or didn't feel, comfortable coming to a public event, they could do it online with us. I know one other big thing other than our Runway of Hope that we're going to be talking about here shortly is how to make connections with the other survivors. So because cancer doesn't start, there's still people getting diagnosed. There's still people needing help. The world got to experience part of what a cancer survivor goes through with losing their job or having to cut back hours or not going into work and still having to figure out how to pay bills, how to make ends meet, how to be around people. Because that's the other thing, being around people is a big deal about making sure those who have lower immunity systems to be able to be safe.
Julie, I just want to pause for a second because I think what you just said is really important, and it's not something that I even realized until you just said it. But really, it's true that this pandemic has caused all of us to kind of go through a process that was very, very difficult for many. Well, I'm going to just say everyone in some way or another, right? But it's the process that when you do get a devastating diagnosis, like a cancer diagnosis, this is your process. It's like COVID pandemic all over again, but this time, with the threat of a fatal disease on your plate as well, right?
Right. It is that, and you have to learn how to rebudget. Well, I had income for 2 incomes in a household, and now we have none. And how are you going to pay those bills? How are you going to make, even if you are budget savvy and you live within your means, well, now that's taken away. How do you make it happen? So you have to think outside that box of, well, let me lower my cell phone bill by taking away some services. My direct TV, cut some channels out. What you can get out of contract wise, because now it doesn't become a necessity. It is more of a want. And do I really need that? Or how to put food on the table. How are we going to go find food? The food pantries are everywhere, stepped up with a lot of great things because everybody pitched in and the government and so on and so forth. But that's what a cancer survivor goes through. It's hard. It's hard and it's scary. And I did, and probably about midway into our lockdown, it was like, oh my gosh, this is just like if we had cancer. Now we're sitting at home, and now we're twiddling our thumbs, and we're trying to figure out how to keep moving forward with our life. It's exactly the same.
So this is interesting because not part two, but the next thing that you said in response to this question is also kind of where I was really hoping this would go. But it's that, when the pandemic happened, people stepped up. They donated to the food pantries. They donated to the small businesses that were losing their customers and their jobs, and people that were now being furloughed and then fired at some point, because businesses had to close for so long.
Right. Yeah. Right.
And so really, like, the idea that just like Pink Warrior Angels of Texas, these organizations and businesses have had to go virtual and ask for help in that way. And so if you aren't seeing your normal, like, mailer that you get, or the, high value postcard that's got the glitter gold on it, it's probably because your organization can't afford it this year.
Yeah,
they're
very true.
Still doing something. And so to reach out to those nonprofits that you support, and we, of course, hope that you support Pink Warrior Angels of Texas. But to reach out to those nonprofits and remember that they are struggling just like any other business, and probably even more, because giving is something that you do when you have extra money. For the most
part.
Not
everybody has a whole lot of extra money.
Right.
As people are just getting back into work and stuff. Like, I was on furlough for 6 months, and then I was let go for my part-time job that I had, which, I totally get, I totally understand, but it is just that. It's like, okay, well, let's talk about October. So everybody loves to give for Breast Cancer Month. That's wonderful. But who do you pick? How do you pick? So it's important to know your organization that you give to. So if you do have extra funding, to go help the nonprofit that is struggling still, we're all 100% volunteers. None of us, we don't have any paid staff, or an office for that matter. And so it's important to know that while there's some things that are out there we can qualify for because we don't have a building, we don't have staff, but we still have the same financial aid assistance that are coming through, because cancer doesn't stop through this crazy pandemic. So know the organization, know where the funding is going, research the organization. I can tell you, we get referrals from big named, very popular organizations on a weekly basis, guys. And that's kind of scary, because unless you're a big name, that's what people remember. It sticks in their head. So I would encourage everybody to go to, even the IRS website and go look at it, or great nonprofits, or, I just totally drew a blank of where you go to put all your nonprofit information in. I'll think of it in a minute. To learn about the organization, what they're doing, and how they're ranking, and what they're doing, so I think that's important too.
I think a lot of people don't really know what Pink Warrior Angels does with the money that they raise. Can you just give us a really brief, like, what does your monthly financial aid meetings look like, Julie?
Those are fun. They've been averaging about 20,000 an ask. Sometimes it's 10 applications, sometimes it's 3. But they're averaging really, really high, because people now, now that government assistance has stopped with extra unemployment and so on and so forth, you still have to pay your rent, your mortgages, car payments, car notes. We're seeing bills that are 3-4 months behind in mortgages, car payments, cell phone bills, light bills, water bills, so while everybody's adjusting and helping each other out, guess what? Those bills are still there.
Yeah.
They don't go away. Now they're just 4 months behind in their bills. So how do you take somebody's water bill who was only $80 a month times 4, whatever that math comes to, and now it's $600? Don't knock me on my math. But that now that it's $600, well, $80 was more reachable than $600. So we sit down as a board collectively after everybody has turned in all their required documents, their validation documents, their bills. And we go through and say, okay, we have $20,000 that these people have asked for. Their top 3 bills. That's not even all of them. And then we don't have $20,000 a month to give.
Yeah.
So now we have to decide how we can be the most impactful with the budget that we have, which is very small right now.
Yeah.
You know, how can we have the biggest impact for the mom of 4 kids who's behind on rent versus the dad that's over here that may or may not have kids or grown kids, but his light bill is like 6 months behind, or co-pays for now he's back in treatments, or you know, some treatments stop for a little bit, but they went back pretty quickly, you know, those kinds of things. And those are hard decisions to make.
Yeah.
You know, how we're going to have the most impact with our dollars.
Yeah.
So we help with those non-tangible items that we forget about, but you know, you got to have food, shelter, clothing to thrive as a human being, and food. And so while we may not be able to pay your $1,200 mortgage, we can help out with some groceries, you know, because they don't qualify for food stamps, for example. Let's say this family now doesn't qualify for food stamps because they're middle class, so don't qualify there, even though the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
And if you're like me, it was crazy about, you know, doing food pantries, but to be able to say, hey, here's $500 that, you know, we actually gave to an applicant last month through HEB, our local grocer here, because we still had grant money from them that they'd given, so we could help provide food, which they didn't qualify for. And it was right before Thanksgiving. She sent us a message. She was so grateful because she didn't even know how she was going to do Thanksgiving, you know? So I feel that made the biggest impact for her.
Yeah.
You know, for sure.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I know that wasn't brief. Sorry.
Like, no, I mean, that's brief because normally it takes us sometimes a good hour just going through the applications and playing Tetris. Like Julie was saying, it's, you know, I think it's just because we all care so much, and we, you know, if we could, we try to help them with it because we know the burden financially, like, causes even more emotional stress of what they're going through, you know? So,
yeah.
And
for sure, that financial toxicity is unreal. That is it can make you physically sick. I know it has for me at the beginning of our journey, and it's awful. And some people, unless you hit that rock bottom, you'll never know.
Yeah.
It's terrible. I didn't know.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Thank you, Julie.
Yeah.
So in the last few minutes that we have of our coffee chat, wine chat, whatever you're drinking chat tonight, we wanted to talk about Runway of Hope, which is one of the virtual events that Pink Warrior Angels has done. And I'm going to let Selena kind of lead the charge on this because she really is the lady behind the magic that's going to happen at the end of this week. So Selena, why don't you go ahead and
then I'll ask
Runway of Hope.
Ready, Julie? She's like, okay. So Julie and I have literally since February been planning this event, and it went from an in-person to a virtual to a virtual and in-person, and then a virtual in-person and more a little bit. It's still very virtual. It's nothing like last year's in-person where we had about 250 guests, you know, but we've had to really kind of we've researched, we've talked to so many people in the industry and in the field and watched so many. And Julie and I have gone, we've
watched a lot.
This conference, let's do this. Let's do this. We were just watching one the other night together, and we were like commenting on, okay, we don't like that, so we'll make sure we don't do that in ours. Not that we were, but a lot of research. So, and going virtual, and I think it's brought in kind of my, what do you call that? Like what we do for my job outside of the nonprofit is creating a live stream show is what we're going to do as an organization. Runway of Hope has had applications of models of people that have gone through cancer. They've applied. We accepted 10 of them, and I believe we had 25 or almost 30 people apply. Of course, we'd love to take all 30, but we can't. And they have varying cancers. And, you know, we sat when it was just virtual, and we said, how can we give them an experience? And we created a virtual workshop just for the models. And we had, you know, we had amazing speakers come in to give them an experience, because I think for me, and this kind of almost fits with Elizabeth being on our show last week, is wanting them to kind of leave feeling special and feeling that like they were treated well. And we did that, and we were exhausted. And now we're shifting into this week is, I mean, we have camera people, we have AV people, we have 28 volunteers, photographers, hair and makeup. Our models are flying in if they're not local. Will we have people? Oh, yay, Heather!
Yay,
That's one of our models.
You guys, Heather has probably doesn't know this. She has probably made me cry a bunch of times because she's amazing. And for all of us, we've all just been so privileged to kind of like, we have a special group for just our models. So we want them to be able to connect. So when they come together this Friday and Saturday, you know, they can feel like they know each other because they've been communicating with each other. But it's wild because we have a lot. We're doing a lot. And so we're excited. And I'm going to have Anna pull up, if she could. She's going to share her screen and she's going to show you what Julie and I have worked on. But it's where you purchase a ticket so you can watch us live. And what Julie and I are most excited about, and the board, is that, you know, we were able to get Miss America 2020, Camille Schreier, to join us as the MC. So we're going to be rocking it. Is it
hold on.
No, I'll just keep chit-chatting.
Yeah.
But Julie and I are excited because there's this very live component, but with a in-person feel. Because at first, Julie and I did not think that the models were even going to get to strut, and let alone be in the same space. But they are, and it's amazing. And so they're going to come together. We have a venue that donated their space.
Yes.
And it's like, it just kind of blew us all out of, you know, because we went from having another sponsor that was going to donate their space, but obviously it was going to be too small with how big we grew. But
and with COVID, making sure everybody had enough space and feeling comfortable and all that, for sure.
Can you see the screen now?
Yeah, it's there.
Oh, good. Okay.
So, I mean, yes, shameless plug, you know, whatever. I put the comments.
Yeah, so here's
yeah, go, Anna.
I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, I just wanted to say, here's the important things to know about Runway of Hope. It's $20 for a ticket to watch the live show. Miss America 2020 is emceeing. You're going to see Selena's face. You're going to see Julie's face. You're going to see my face. You're going to see some faces of our volunteers. You're going to see some of our other board members. You're going to see 10 amazing models, 9 women and 1 man, walk the runway for $20. And that power of that $20 is going to help fund that $20,000 worth of asks that this organization gets every year.
I mean, even if just 10 people, that's $200. So can you imagine?
Yeah.
I can't do the math now, but if 100 people just bought a $20 ticket, that's $2,000. Is that?
Yeah, and it helps with gas. It helps with groceries. It helps put towards a bill. You know, so $20 is very doable for most budgets. So, you know, donating $20, and there's different options here that Anna pulled up on the screen. Is you'll see ticket sales, impact donations. We have a whole auction section where you can bid on different things. We have some really fancy stuff there. And then we have our baskets here. I call them raffle baskets. It's our raffle giveaways. These are all valued at $100 or more. I mean, so you can purchase tickets to have an opportunity to win, you know, this handmade blanket, the unique basket, the margarita basket. That's the one I want, by the way. You know, this is another military spouse who, before she left here, made us this blanket to, you know, so it's a nice throw blanket to be, you know, everybody loves that chunky yard and they're just doing all these great things with it. You know, the margarita basket has not only stuff to make margaritas, but a margarita machine, you know, and so you can buy a ticket. Look, it already has 17 tickets sold. There it is, right there. So you have a 1 in 17 chance to win that basket. Right. You know, I think the ticket was a $10 ticket. So some are 5, some are 10, some are a little bit higher. But, you know, or you can just go bid on the auction stuff.
Totally. You go to Lucy, and we're adding stuff every day because people are like, you know what? I want to just make sure. I'm going to just tell you, I'm just pushing for this one. I was gifted a session with Lucy. Anna came and joined me, and it was so fun. And because I used to watch I Love Lucy when I was younger. Anyway, she's amazing. She's fun and she's so witty and her timing is amazing. And she also does Mary Poppins, who is like my absolute favorite person in the whole wide world. If you could just click on her Mary Poppins little thumbnail there, Anna, she's great. I mean, seriously, it's I don't know. Anyway.
100% looks the part. She sounds like it. It's great.
Yeah.
You know, these have been all well thought out. You know, our fundraising coordinator, Nikki, did a great job with finding all these different things that if this isn't for you, there's something there for you. You know, there's definitely something there. So whether we wanted to include all budgets. So if you want to buy a ticket for $5 and so that's well within your budget, or you can go to our silent auction items and there's bids that are going on now for, you know, a autographed Tim McGraw book, the new Matthew McConaughey book. It was this George Strait cowboy hat. It's autographed for us, and Mark Wahlberg, you know, with his movie, and he autographed his poster. Like, those are some great things. We have a whole bunch of other stuff too that you might find something, you know, maybe you can talk about getting with some of your girlfriends to pitch in dollars to bid on something even too. I mean, there's some great stuff out there that you should definitely take a look at for an opportunity. You know, if you live in the Austin area, there's a free microblading, not free for us, that they donated that time and service to us, to the guys stuff. Oh, those binoculars, right? Those were pretty awesome. I had to learn about them, but that's something great for all those hunters out there. You know, there's just so much fabulous stuff that was given to us. And we're thankful for all of our donors who did that. Let's talk about this super gift card. It is valued over $500. And every restaurant except for one place is local here in Gatesville, Texas. The rest are national chains.
Right.
What a great holiday Christmas gift.
Guys to bid. If it says you have dates on it, you can bid for it. We mail it to you, you know?
Yeah, a lot of our other stuff we can mail too. No big deal. You know, this one's at $120 already, you know, so it is valued at $500. Can you know how many Christmas gifts you can do with that? I'm just saying. If you do Christmas, I'm just saying.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Good point.
Well, so Julie, tell me what you're most excited about for the Runway of Hope. The thing you're very most excited about.
So the thing I'm most very excited about is watching those 10 models get to strut their stuff. Because at first, when we did the big pivot, they weren't going to get to do that. We were going to modify it so that they're going to get to be together, experience it together, and to watch them, because I have had the privilege of walking in New York Fashion Week with Meta Viber and Anna Ono. So I want to bring that feel here. And so I was so bummed that we had to make the decision early on to make it virtual. But like Selena said, how can we make this still an amazing experience? There's nothing else like it. I can't explain it. The crowd roar, the excitement, the confidence that you get to be all prettied up. And, you know, Libby, who is 15, she's a leg amputee, and she just got her new prosthetic. I don't know if y'all seen it yet, but it's super customized and so awesome. And she is ready to strut in her new prosthetic leg with these fancy shoes of hers. And I'm just thrilled for her that they're all excited to get to do this.
Yeah.
Because we're ready to be around people. Even though it's just a good 30, 40 of us as volunteers, the church is big enough. Thank you, Grace Christian Church. It's big enough that everybody will have their own space and feel comfortable. So while we would love to have all 300 people come, we will see you on the screen.
Yes, please join us. It's going to be so much fun, I promise. And we're going to have a cameo from I Love Lucy. We're going to have a Miss America on the stage, like in her crown, with a dress donated by one of our sponsors, Operation Deploy Your Dress. Yeah. I mean, it's really, people have really come together to make this happen.
Yeah.
And we're so grateful for that. And this is
very grateful. Yeah.
Yeah. And this is really what, you know, this whole show is about. It's that idea of the nonprofits are just as much in need of assistance as the business worlds are. And so when they do make that pivot and find that virtual way to reach out to their donor base, and, you know, really consider doing what you can like Julie said, even if it's a $5 raffle ticket,
Yeah.
every tiny bit is appreciated. Don't ever think it's not enough, because it is.
No.
Right. And even all our sponsors who came together, because we had basically no budget for this year. Everybody that has pitched in to take a sponsorship role has made a huge impact to make this happen.
Yeah.
And so just, even though they couldn't say give $1,000, they gave us food for all the models and stuff. And that's huge, because they're still able to help, but yet we don't have to come out of our pockets to help pay. So literally all the donated items were given to us, and we can't do it without everybody who comes together as one and spread kindness like confetti, and share it with everybody. So it is, whatever you can do makes a huge impact, even though you may feel like it's very small.
That is a great final message, Julie. Yes. Everything you can do is a big impact, even if you think it's small.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So we're over time, so we're gonna have to cut this off. I'm cutting us off. Is that how it's saying?
I thought, we'll be done in 30 minutes. We'll talk really quick.
I knew that would never happen, but whatever. We do have a question again for anybody that's watching out there. Tell us, what is your color? So if you remember back to Julie's bio, the message of Pink Warrior Angels this year is, what is your color? Which is really to think about how cancer may have impacted you personally, whether it's a family member, a friend, a distant relative, or no one. I mean, Julie, Lisa, let me back up. Selena and I were discussing this the other day, and I said, I don't have a color. I have a grandmother that passed from ovarian cancer, and a grandfather that had leukemia, and an aunt that had breast cancer. You know, mine is a little bit of a rainbow, and it's okay to not have just one color, but the idea is to recognize that my family has been impacted by this disease.
Yeah.
You know, and what that's meant to me personally, but also my family as a whole. So, yes.
My last thing with that, what's your color for all of us? And I think I've had many conversations with Julie, is cancer is such a hard thing to talk about. And the what's your color, like we do usually a hashtag what's your color. It's been a great way for Julie and myself and other board members to kind of create a conversation where it feels safe to talk about it, you know, because it's really, really hard. And I think, you know, because I think it's saying what's your color is so much easier. I'm like, so what cancer do you like have in your family?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And because we want to come bearing ourselves to help however we can. So like Anna said, you know, pop in the comments when you're replaying. Let us know, you know, what color represents somebody in your life that has been impacted by this, you know, and share with us. So we can just start that conversation, you know?
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. That really is our final thought. Go and get your tickets, $20 right there. Betterworld.org events, Runway of Hope 2020, Pink Warrior Angels. Rachel's color is pink. I love it.
Thank you, Rachel.
Yeah.
Guys, go power of $20. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
That's
Share.
right.
Share.
And then real fast, wait, next week we do have.
Yeah. Next week we have Adam Evans with Instant Hands. Adam is so I'm just going to give you their little tagline, which I really love. We've taken an age-old practice, the military side hustle, and created a platform to help underpaid members of the military community earn extra income. U.S. military members, veterans, and military family members that are helping other people with pretty much anything you need. Yard work, house cleaning, repairs, building IKEA furniture, whatever it is that you need. I love this organization, this business that Adam has created. So we're super excited to have Adam on next week. Normal time, Monday, 10 a.m. for the regular time coffee chat. And don't forget, you can always find a 15-ish minute coffee chat on Facebook, YouTube channel, and whatever your favorite podcast platform might be. Make sure and subscribe. All right, Julie, thank you so much for coming on tonight and discussing.
Thank you.
That was a shocking final image.
I was like, hello, everybody. How are you? That didn't work.
Before we go, I just have to say this right here. Look at this. Shireen is
Serena.
live. And then
Sure.
Rachel popped on and said, wants to know about Adam. So Rachel, join us next Monday at 10.
Adam is awesome.
Play if that time frame doesn't work for you.
No, for sure.
For sure. They're amazing. I've chatted with them before. Yeah.
All right, everybody.
Yes, thank you for joining us tonight. Everybody have a great evening.
Thank you, Julie. Bye.
Bye. Tomorrow's Tuesday. It's going to be a better day.
Cheers.